Hello, moms in real estate. I am so excited, and forgive me if like my audio is up and down. I'm in a coffee shop at the lake, and I'm just not sure how loud I am. So, am I good for you, Tina? Is my audio good? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited today because Tina is here and she's going to be talking to us about smart systems that scale. And so Tina and I kind of speak the same love language, which is systems. And so she's going to be talking about how to run a six-figure business without sacrificing motherhood. So if you don't know, Tina is one of our partners here at Moms in Real Estate who helps moms to build six-figure businesses. And so Kristen's actually at the cabin today. She's ditching us. Kristen and I are kind of on summer break, but I took a break from the lake to come over here and to connect all of you ladies with Tina. So welcome, friend.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to connect with everybody here. Just so y'all know, I can't see you, but I can read your comments.
Yes. Yep. So it's webinar format. So keep your questions coming. I think, Tina, today you're going to do like a presentation style and then you'll answer questions at the end. Is that right?
Yes. So when I'm presenting, I actually won't be able to see your questions. So At the end, I have a Q&A and I'll scroll through and answer questions.
I love that. And also the chat is blowing up. It looks like we have Texas, we have Florida, we have Alaska. So it might be blurry for you based off of your internet connection. I think we're solid, but let us know. We definitely want to make sure. And so it looks like we have a North Carolina. So we have a ton of people here today, friend. Oh, look at that. We even have LA. I love it. I love it. I did not realize you would actually be able to see the shoppers behind me. I put myself in the corner, but apparently not very well.
I just moved into a new home, so I am in an empty room, which is going to be my office. So it's white walls behind me.
No, I love that. So on this note, we're going to go ahead and let Tina dive in and go ahead and keep your questions coming. I'll collect those. And then like Tina said, she'll do a Q&A at the end. So friend, I'm going to add your slides to the stage and then it is all yours to take away.
All right. Hey, everyone. This is such an exciting time for me to share with y'all about systems. I love systems and I'm excited to have you all here. So if you're tuning in on your laptop, then you can go ahead and scan this QR code and it's going to take you to a Spotify link where I recently got to be a host on the Moms in Real Estate podcast. And I think this is a great introduction about my story to just like save us time today, but I'd really like to get to know all of you. And this is a great opportunity to get to know me. Long story short, I'm Tina from Texas. I bought a one-way ticket to Hawaii when I was 18, saved up on my own for 10 months, moved out here when I was 19. I was a waitress for 5 years. In the last almost 9 now, I have been in real estate and I absolutely love this. I am carrying on a legacy from my mama who was a realtor, and there's so much of that story. Oh my gosh, I even have like her picture right here. With my empty office, like I at least have that set up because she is my inspiration. She means everything to me. And she passed away in 2014, which, led me to embark on this journey. But the whole story, a lot of it is in this QR code on the Moms in Real Estate podcast. And so make sure you give that a listen to get to know me more. I
just have to interrupt you for a second. Like a one-way to, okay, first the story with your mom, like I just felt that in my heart. And I'm sure like our women did also, because that's a huge part of why we do this, right? We do this for our people. But can we also take a second to just acknowledge that you were like, I bought a one-way ticket?
That was
like,
crazy.
wait, like I am scared. I always joke, like my dad moved from brought us from another country to the United States, and I'm scared to leave my own town. So I just don't want to like skim over that because you not only bought a one-way ticket, but now you've built a highly profitable business where you're not like it's not from your hometown, right?
Exactly. And I couldn't even do it with my sphere because I was a waitress for like the first 5 years. So when I got into real estate, servers, we claim tips differently. And so I didn't have a sphere to even start with when I got into real estate. So not only like am I in a whole different state, which, sometimes people even are like, do I need a passport to go there? You don't need a passport to come to Hawaii. It's still the United States, but it's like so far away and disconnected. But yeah, I built everything from scratch.
I love that. I think I'm excited to dive in.
Well, thank you. Some other little fun facts about me is I was an MMA fighter, and then I became a mama. So my life when I started real estate was wake up and train MMA, and then work all day, and then train again at night. I had one fight in 2017, and then I had 2 fights in 2019. I have won them all. It was really great. I had like clients and everybody in the audience. I should add a picture of that to this slide. And then COVID hit, obviously, and changed all of our lives up. And then in 2021, I got pregnant with my now 3.5-year-old Gianna. So I'm going to dive into that. But before I do, I am doing an Amazon gift card today. So if you have your phone, or if you're on your phone, it may be hard to scan, but this goes to my Instagram, and my Instagram is a simple handle, Epic Hawaii Homes. Shoot me a DM real quick, the word raffle, and I'm going to have you entered in the raffle. So I'm going to give everybody a second to do this. And I really want to be mindful of everybody's time today as well. So that's why I save the story, because I could talk about my story a lot, but Kristen gave me a great platform to tell my story and where I come from and how things got going. So, all right. Epic Hawaii Homes, just DM me the word raffle. I got my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I'm not getting any notifications right now, but I will have a raffle going at the end of this, and I'm going to go ahead and start diving into what you're going to learn today. So today's focus is the key between being busy and being in control of your business. I'm going to tell y'all about how life has been for me and what the main difference is. If you're running your business right now and you feel like it's a disorganized, mess, for lack of a better word for that, it's time that you step into being a CEO. You need to be the leader of your brand, which it could be a team. You could call it a team, whether it's you and other agents, or if it's you and your admin and your marketing team and your virtual assistants, whatever it is, you are the CEO of your brand. And this isn't just even for real estate. If you have other professions as well, you are the main character, and it's time to show up like that. So that's what we're going to discuss today. And then let's talk about what systems really mean and why they are a non-negotiable for sustainable success in real estate. You can have success in real estate with the sticky notes and juggling all the things. I'm not saying that you can't have success. What I am trying to say is that there is a better way to have success for sustainable success. So the word sustainable here is the biggest key takeaway, because you can always have that hustle, but one day you're going to hit burnout, and it's not going to be a sustainable business anymore. And so we're trying to avoid that and come up with the systems before you ever hit burnout. There's 4 core systems that every agent needs to scale with sanity and not burning out. So I'll go over those systems. And then behind the scenes, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek about how the business that I built, and really I've built it from scratch, simplifying and coming up with a system from start to finish for so many things. And then what are the most common pitfalls that agents face and how you can avoid them? Again, if you're going into this career as an actual career for longevity, which is really the best thing to do, because once you have a client, they can be your client for life. So real estate is a career that has good longevity, but how can we avoid any pitfalls? And so that way you're not just working, and then 10, 15 years from now, you're trying to enjoy your life. Whereas you should have been enjoying your life all along the way. So if you don't build a system, you become one. So from chaos to hopefully having consistent commissions and everything running smoothly. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what changed everything for me. Again, I already told you about how I was an MMA fighter, and I was training and doing real estate all day and training again at night. Now, if I go back and look at what my schedule really consisted of, it was a lot of manual work, such as manually sending an email or manually doing follow-ups or trying to remember things. I literally had sticky notes around my laptop for clients that I wanted to follow up with. And I wanted to make sure that they didn't fall through the cracks, because we've all had it happen, I'm sure, where, somebody goes and buys a house with somebody else. I literally just had a story happen, and I'll just tell you from example is I have a $1.6 million listing in Eva Beach, and somebody came through the open house. Now, this guy came to my open house a block over 3 years prior. Okay. He came in with an agent this time. Now, I did stay in touch with him, but I didn't do a long-term drip with him. And so eventually, when he was ready to actually move out here and make the move, he found some other agent. But when he walked into the open house and looked around and we were chatting a minute, I was like, I remember you. And I remember your dad had recently passed, or like his dad had passed away like right after we had started engaging. So their timeline got postponed. And he's like, oh my gosh, you have such a good memory. And I was like, just shooting off all these things. And he was like, yeah, that was about 3 years ago. And so I think now, and I'm like, gosh, if I would have had the systems I have now, like $1.6 million buyer would have just came right to me when he was ready. And it wouldn't have been me having to check in and text him every week or whatever I was doing back then to try to stay forefront of mind. So going into what changed for me is, again, looking back at what my life was before I became a mama. Here's my precious Gianna and my husband Marcus. And fun fact, that's like us spearfishing in the background. That's a fun hobby I got into when COVID hit and all the gyms shut down. But what changed for me was becoming a mom. And I feel like a lot of you can relate if you started your career before becoming a mom. I didn't know how much this shift would change me. I was such like a hustler and in love with real estate. I've always said it's like my first baby. And I was like, nope, I'm still going to be going to work. Like my husband will help me. We'll have help with my daughter and it'll be okay. Like I'll still hustle. But oh my goodness, the moment she was born, like I get like chicken skin goosebumps, just like thinking of how much I changed that I didn't think I was going to change. And that sounds silly to say now because I'm so obsessed and in love with motherhood, but I didn't think that I would want to slow down my hustle. And so how do I not slow down my hustle, but still be a top producer? Systems. Systems can help me. So then unorganized sticky notes. Now I've got workflows that help me auto follow up. I was always looking at my calendar, trying to figure out time for appointments and squeeze in here and squeeze in there. And then I was constantly explaining the process to my clients. And so now I've got multiple guides for buyers, for sellers, for military buyers and sellers, which is my niche. And, more so talking directly to them. There's just ways to have systems and organization. I love being organized. And when you really think about it, you're not overwhelmed, you're under organized. So if we can get you to, think about how can I be better organized? And I'm constantly, like even to this day, thinking about how I can organize things better, how I can show up better, because I have the mental headspace to actually think about how to improve my business because I already have such good systems. I'm not manually doing a lot of stuff. And even if I am manually doing stuff, it's for a purpose and it's for that personality touch. So there are a lot of things that I still do manually. I'm not saying that you're going to automate your whole business here, but you're going to have a system to where you're from start to finish and focusing on like making sure that everybody can have the same high quality experience. So habits are what are really going to start your systems out. So you should have a morning routine, an evening routine. So I didn't put evening routine on here, but when I think about my habits, my morning routine is the most important. So my life mentor has taught me about doing bookends. So it's your morning routine and your evening routine. And no matter what, you can always wake up earlier or stay up later to get your bookends. What happens in the middle of your day may be chaotic. And if you have kids of all different ages, like maybe you have kids going to like, my daughter's in jujitsu and gymnastics, and it's like juggling all these things. And then you get client calls throughout the day and you have agent calls and so much goes on in your day to day, but you can always make time to wake up a little bit earlier to have a morning routine and stay up a little later to have an evening routine. And that's going to make your days feel more like a flow and just like create that peace that we all need. So my morning routine is I like to wake up early and make sure I have some time with God, and I do devotions and just pray and just get my head going. I also have like a PEMF mat, which is a grounding mat, and that helps me when I'm journaling and meditating. And then I also like to talk about having a work routine. When you dive into work, what's the first thing you're doing? If you're like answering calls right away, like I feel like you're already behind. I know for me, I'm already behind. So if I start my day later and I'm answering calls and answering texts, like that's being more of a reactive realtor than a proactive real estate agent. So how can you have a good routine with your work? So the first thing that I like to do is I have a email address for all my escrows. So you may have multiple email addresses, or you may only have one. So for me, I like to have multiple email addresses, and this is just a system that I have. I'll just throw out here. It's my team name is Team Epic YE Homes, and so this is Team Epic Escrows at gmail.com, and all my escrow transactions are handled in there, where nothing else, like no marketing, no newsletters, no personal, nothing. It's only for escrow. So I check that first, because if you're on vacation or if you're spending time doing other things, like that is a non-negotiable inbox that you have to check, or your admin can check and keep up with all your transactions, especially as you scale and are running multiple transactions at a time. I've been doing this for years, and it really keeps everything organized. Just there's a way that I have that all organized too, but I don't want to get off track too much into that system. But after that, then it's like, okay, so what's on your calendar? So you can make a work routine. Like, are you going to lead gen right away while you're fresh? Or are you going to check in? When are you checking in with future buyers, like buyers that are buying 3 to 6 months from now? When are you checking in with buyers that are buying a year from now? When are you checking in with your sellers? When are you checking in with your past clients? So it's good to have a week schedule of when you're checking in with everybody, versus, again, all the sticky notes and like remembering to check in. It's like, okay, so on Monday, I'm following up with my buyers from the weekend showings, and I'm checking in with any buyers that are maybe moving here. Monday, I'm also doing follow-up for open houses for my sellers. Every Tuesday, I'm getting in touch with every single one of my sellers. Right now, I have about 8 active listings. And so I'm getting in touch with every seller to give them a Tuesday update. After the open house Sunday, it's like, hey, we had 4 groups come by, and I'm going to get you an update Tuesday. They all know it's coming Tuesday. We get on a call. Hey, out of those 4 groups, Sally Sue seems really interested. The rest were just looky-loos. And I give them a really thorough update. But it's having a routine throughout the week, having a day to recharge, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Doing team meetings is really important. And then what I like to call is brain dumps. So you can do these whenever you feel like you need to, where you just once a week or however many times a week, you just write down everything that you can think of. Like, if it's what you want to do in your business, on the business, so that way you can grow your business and just get it out of your headspace. So that way you're not playing with your kids and you're thinking about, oh my gosh, like I should really work on my website at some point. It's like, no, that's in your brain dump, and you can assign a time and a day to work on that. So just getting into habits is really what, can also lead to successful systems. Now, these are systems, but these are also what I would call software. This is where you can plug in and work accordingly with all that you have going on. So if you're not familiar with a lot of these, I can tell you a little bit about them to dive in. So Read AI, this is something that will record all your Zooms. You can do so many more Zoom, you can do so many more consultations, buyer and seller consultations, if you are recording them and doing Zooms instead of meeting with somebody. Let's say you have to go meet them at the office or coffee. And, ever since COVID, it's really shown us how to maximize our time and do Zoom presentations. And even if somebody does want to meet in person, I don't mind that, but I do express to them that I like to meet on Zoom, because I like to share my screen and go over an actual presentation with them. And that way, by the end, I ask them if they have any questions, and they're like, no, I think you covered more than I thought I would learn today. And that's what a true consultation is giving them education and being there to help guide them. And now you may be talking a lot because you're presenting with the consultation, but Read AI will help remember any points or pain points that they brought up, or questions or follow up. And it's really great to just have it recorded, as well as whenever you review contracts, it's great to have that recorded as well, just for liability reasons. So I really like Read AI. I'm a huge Flowdesk lover. That's what I use a lot of my templates for. It makes them really pretty, and it makes them pretty, and it makes it very professional and on brand. Asana is my custom CRM, and it's also a project planner. And I talked to you a little bit about Gmail and that, how I organize my escrows email. And then Loom, whenever you are ready to hire an assistant or any task that you're doing, you can actually be recording them. And that way, one day when you hire somebody, then they can do that for you. And I am still to this day, like delegating and doing more Loom videos for my team. So that way they can learn how to do things. And I just walk them through, and, I don't address like, my admin assistant that's been with me for almost 4 years now. Her name's Laura. So I don't even say like Laura, because Laura's got an assistant too. So it's for Laura, but like, don't say the name, and just dive in and to say like, hey, this is what I'm going to be going over, because this video could be for anybody to learn what you're doing so you can delegate it off of your plate. These are more systems here, just to kind of give you an idea of more software and systems that you can dive into. Templates. If you're writing an email twice, it needs to be a template. So just having templates is key. And when you're doing these templates, it could take time. Like, I'm not saying creating systems is going to be like, really easy. It can be if you have the right guidance, mentorship, and like templates to go off of, but you should be adding your voice to these templates, because you don't want to be robotic. So you want to like take the time and come up with this email. And that's what I've done over the years, is come up with emails. And then after I like the email, I save it as a template. And sometimes I change the voice of how I'm talking to my clients. And, I want to change that template, or I add in a new email. But you're not able to add more templates and change the voice and do all this if you don't even have templates to work with. So wherever you are in your business, there's always room to grow, to scale, to systemize, and to buy back your time. I do have a transaction coordinator. My spreadsheets have spreadsheets. So you don't need as many spreadsheets as I have. I've simplified them, but I really like tracking everything, because that tells me where my business is coming from and where I need to be focusing my energy for getting new business. I do have social media systems, as far as how things get posted. I do love vision boards, all kinds of stuff here. So systems equal success. There's no possible way that you can be your best version if you're constantly thinking of things. You're not doing brain dump. So it's all lingering in your head. You're playing blocks with your daughter or your son, and you're sitting there thinking about your business, or you're laying in bed with your kids at night reading bedtime stories, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I forgot to follow up with this person. Like, that's not showing up for your family in the way that they deserve you to show up. And I'm sure we all love motherhood. And so we really want to show up as our best selves and like be more mentally present, because being physically present is one thing, but being mentally present can be the harder obstacle when you're an entrepreneur, which real estate agents are entrepreneurs. And if you want to go somewhere you haven't been, you're going to have to do things you haven't done. So that means taking a step back and looking at your business. So say you're going up in a high rise and you're looking down at the cars. Like, that's how I want you to go up an elevator with window on the side, go up an elevator 30 feet up and look down at those cars. And that's your business. Like, I want you to look at that's your business. And then all the cars, the parking lot, like that's your life. We need to be looking at your business from that far away. So that way we can dive in and see how we're going to make all the pieces fit together. So systems are simple, repeatable steps that protect your peace and profits. They're going to save you time. They're going to reduce stress. They're going to create consistency, and they're going to make delegation possible. You can't delegate something out if you don't even have a system. You can't just tell your new assistant, like, promote this listing for me. Okay, how do I promote it? So you got to make sure that you have systems so that way you can hire and, again, buy back your time. You've heard me bring that up twice now. If you haven't read the book by Dan Martell, it's called Buy Back Your Time. It's not always about buying to scale. Sometimes it's about buying to just enjoy your time more. And however that looks for you is, think about that. Like, time is the only thing that you cannot physically buy. But you can outsource so much to where you can buy back your time. It's a great book to read. So I have a time-saving open house protocol, and I just posted this in the Moms in Real Estate Facebook group the other day because somebody was asking about having others sit their open houses. And if you're running multiple listings and you want to have help for sitting your open houses to get the most exposure, I love open houses, by the way. I've gotten so many clients from open houses. I absolutely love them. So if you're an agent that just can't sit your own open houses and you're trying to scale and grow, then how can you have a good system for open house sitting protocol? So for me, this is a little bit of my system here, because what I'm trying to show you here is that systems aren't just like, an automation or an email template. Like, systems is a very broad word, and I want to show you how we can break it down just a little bit piece by piece. So a time-saving open house system protocol is not be able to sit all my open houses, because I can't be in two places at once. So on Monday, I have my admin confirm which open houses are available to sit, if they're all available, or if like, hey, there's a birthday party for this seller and they don't want open house this weekend, whatever it may be. So she just confirms it with me. We have a template we send out weekly with a Google sign-up sheet, and it gives everybody the instructions for what to do. And then if we really need an open house sitter by the weekend and Friday comes and somebody didn't sign up for a specific slot, she starts group texting the agents that are on our sign up list to say, hey, would you like to sit? And sometimes we do offer an incentive, like a gift card if they sit. Obviously, it's really great if they can get a client too. And I get really excited when agents get unrepresented buyers walking through, which happens so often still in our market. And then after the open house, I ask for them to follow up with me saying how many groups came by, the ones that were represented, who's their agent, so I can do a follow-up. And then did they hear any pros? Did they hear any cons? I really love the agents that will really give like a very thorough update. And then if I ever have like a first open house of like a hot listing and I'm not able to sit it, they're going to be my first go-to. And it really gives them that like nudge to really want to sit open houses for me, because they're like, oh, like Tina's got good listings. And another thing is I have good systems for having really pretty listings too. I get them staged. And so people love doing content during their open houses at my listings as well. So that's another bonus for them. But your result is more leverage, happy sellers. And hey, if you just don't want to sit in open house, you've got open house sitters as well. The 4 systems that every real estate agent needs to make sure that they are operating at their most smooth sailing. So 1 is the client journey. 2 is operations, 3 is marketing, and then 4 is referrals. And how are you keeping your clients' retention for if they buy, are they coming back to buy again with you and sell with you? All right, so this is the lead form, and pardon me, I just got the alert that my laptop is dying.
We've all been there.
This whole move has been my norm for sure. Okay, so you got a chance to look at this. So on my social media, I have a link that goes to my Flowdesk landing page. And there, if you're a buyer or seller, you can click this form and fill out this form. And then as soon as you get this form, you're going to get Flowdesk emails. And with these Flowdesk emails, it's giving them, if they're a buyer, it's going to give them a buyer's guide. If you're a seller, it's going to give you a seller's guide. And that is what you get right away, as well as a link to book a 15-minute call with me. I love when this is in action, because how amazing is it that somebody finds you on social media and the next thing you know, you look at your phone and you have, a 15-minute call with Paige. And so I'm like, all right, then I dive in and I look at all her form answers and I'm like, she's a seller. I have all the information I need. And she just went through the whole flow of it. And it just is like, I have all the information I need. So we jump on the 15-minute phone call. Paige is like, hey, yeah, I'm ready to sell my place. And I just, I've been following you and I want to work with you. And it feels like so amazing. And that's what I want for all of you in this room, is getting more leads and having the systems to where you just have a 15-minute call show up on your calendar. They have to book it within 24 hours. So that way I have time to review and get through everything, and then be prepared for the call. And if I need to, everybody can readjust their calendar, I feel like, for 15 minutes. So on that 15-minute call though, I'm scheduling an hour consultation Zoom to really go over everything. The call is just to like say, hi, do you want to tell me anything more about your place or your home buying journey, anything like that? So it's just my landing page to the form to this. And now it actually sends 3 emails over the course of a week. So that way they make sure to book a call instead of dropping the ball, or instead of, them not booking the call and then me having to manually follow up. I have Flowdesk set up in a workflow to where they're going to get 3 emails total, and then they're going to get added to my general mailing list, which it shows, my newsletter here. So that way, if they weren't ready, they felt like they were ready or whatever the case may be, and they're not feeling as ready to jump on the call, then at least they can get my monthly newsletters, and that's more of a passive way to stay in touch. So here's a little bit of how the workflow goes. I say, hi, welcome, and all of this. And so it just shows you a little bit of how it works and when they get the emails. I love Flowdesk. It makes emails so pretty. So Flowdesk, this is the link in bio page. You just have all your links for everything that you want, kind of like a link tree. If you're not familiar with Flowdesk, I really love it for the link in bio page, emails to clients, the post-close workflow for your buyers and for your sellers. How are you staying in touch with your clients after the close? I've done this for years and years, but I used to use Follow Up Boss, and Follow Up Boss is great. And I still use Follow Up Boss for certain things, but I love Flowdesk because it's so pretty and it's like way more on brand, and you can add like pretty buttons for links. And so I really love doing all my post-close workflows for Flowdesk and staying in touch with my clients and staying top of mind. Again, branding and customization. You can have forms and landing pages, and again, email automation. So if you're not using Flowdesk, it is one of my favorites when it comes to having a system. Okay. So have you ever gone to a listing presentation and you didn't get it, and you're wondering why you didn't get chosen? Maybe you're like, no, like I sell all my listings so fast, like I am so good, like there's no reason that they shouldn't hire me. Well, at the end of the day, it really does come down to the best communicator and the best that can present and showcase what the sellers are looking for. So it should be because of your professionalism and the strategic way that you market their home to stand out in any market. So how are you marketing your clients' properties? So here's a couple of my Flowdesk template examples that I have worked on and have helped me get hired. The second one here that says Mahalo, Hannah, and Jeremy. This was a $1.6 million listing that I went to for a recent listing, and they were interviewing so many agents. They found me on social media, but they also found a whole bunch of other agents on social media, which is better. Wouldn't you rather have somebody, compete against 10 other agents on social media versus like 2,000 on Zillow? Again, social media, that's where it's really awesome because it's like your resume. So what I love about Flowdesk is they were interviewing a bunch of agents, but after I left, I was able to edit this Flowdesk template, and then you can email it to them. But what I love about Flowdesk is you have a link, and you can literally just send the link in a text to them. Hey, by the way, it was so great meeting you. Here's how I'm going to present your property. So I talk about listing documents. I talk about, Twilight Brokers open house. I talk about so much. When the listing is live, this third one here, this is what I send to them to show them all the links. So that way I give them the MLS link for sharing instead of them posting a Redfin, Zillow, Trulia link. I let them know, please don't share the Zillow or any other website links. It's best to share this directly because it has the most accurate information, and it will help the buyers actually contact you. And if you don't do dual agency, you could send that out for a referral. So having this system is really helpful in a lot of ways because it could lead to another sale on your behalf as well. Just listed, showcasing I also love you can do multiple links here in Flowdesk. So I give the MLS link, a client full PDF, which is the MLS page, but the client version, a YouTube link, and an Instagram link. So that way they can see all the marketing. And this is an email that I also send to real estate agents, as well as inviting them to open houses with all kinds of information. That way they can think of, okay, who do I have as a buyer that can come and preview this and get it sold? So going back to what I was saying about Instagram is not just for likes, it's for building trust. Those clients that were interviewing multiple real estate agents, they got to know my personality and they got to see how I market other listings. And I really do feel like that's what got me hired, is they were constantly seeing my marketing. I was showing up day after day after day. Now, this isn't just helpful for buyers or sellers that are there for information. This is also helpful for agent to agent referrals. If you're thinking about working with another agent, don't you go and look them up on social media? And when you look them up on social media, if they haven't posted in 2 weeks, do you feel like they're an active realtor and are going to give your client the best service? I mean, I get it. Life happens and, you may need a break from posting, but again, you should have a system for making sure content is repeatedly posted so people can tell that you're an active full-time realtor. Even if you're a part-time realtor, showing up on social media can allude that you are a full-time realtor and will in return get you more business. So what happens for each listing? I do a carousel post and I also do a post highlighting the video. I shoot 2 ways. I shoot horizontal and vertical for Instagram and for YouTube. And that way I also like to stack them. So how you have like 3 posts. So I like to post the listing and then I like to post the reel like 3 posts later. So that way they're stacked. I add them to my story. Every weekend, I'm highlighting which of my listings have open houses, just letting everybody know to come. And then also Instagram is really great because you can use something called mini chat. I feel like most of you have probably already seen this by now, whether it's somebody for fitness, real estate, whatever it may be, recipes. You may just comment the word recipe and somebody will send you their recipe for a certain dish that they were making on a reel. And so this is the same that you can do with real estate. Some of you may be very familiar with this. Some of you have never heard of mini chat. So what I'm going to tell you is mini chat is something that somebody can say a trigger word. So for my listings, if the street is Pineapple Street, they can say the word pineapple, and then they're going to get the listing details like this. They're going to get an automatic DM with the listing details, and that way they can look at all the details, not just Instagram highlight caption. And there's lots of funnels that you can do within this. You can also set it up to, such as a landing page where somebody gets to get the information, they have to put their name and email, and this helps build your email newsletter. So that's what I'm getting into next here is Instagram could shut down any day. Facebook, we saw TikTok shut down. All of this could shut down. So the best thing to do is also make sure you're collecting emails for potential clients because you're going to have your past clients' emails. And this is a great way to stay in touch with your past clients, but it's really important that you're building this database. And I believe once a month is sufficient. That's 12 emails a year where you're staying in touch with your database and also passively prospecting potential clients. So this is a great system I have. I do have a marketing team that helps me with this, but I go in and I add a lot of personal touches and just talk from the heart like I would be to a friend. I give activities to do. Sometimes I do, little giveaways for replying and telling me what they're doing this summer. So you can see I was on the podcast with Kristen. And so, I link it there. And, I hosted a class here on island. I say congrats to buyers and sellers. There's all kinds of things that you can do to make this more custom to you. One of my favorites is I do a small business shout out. And so I encourage everyone to go and check out a local business as well. So this is a great system to have if you're not doing monthly newsletters. I hope that's a takeaway you get from today to start doing them because it could really lead to more business, working smarter and not harder. So let's talk about why most agents stay stuck. You're trying to remember everything. You don't have a system. Again, you're playing with your kids. you're at your kid's soccer practice, you're replying to texts, you're doing all these things from memory instead of a system. Instead of sitting down and looking at your calendar and saying, okay, this hour I'm supposed to be checking in with all my buyers that are getting here in September. Or this month I'm checking in with all my clients that closed 6 months ago. Having that organized versus later thinking, oh, I wonder how they're doing. It's like, oh no, like on Tuesdays at 12, I check in with all my clients that bought 6 months ago. And so that's having a system. Depending on motivation instead of creating structure. Let's be honest. We don't get up every day motivated for real estate. It is very hard in a world where so much is going on that it can really start to wear and tear on your mental. And so if you have structure, it's not about waiting for motivation. It's about getting in the seat, getting in at your work desk and doing the work that needs to be done based off of structure. A lot of people avoid automation because going through the automation can sound intimidating, but it's not easier to do it yourself. It is easier to do a one and done automation and come up with a system to make it better. And then a lot of times people wait for burnout before they finally get organized. And for me, like I told you before, I guess I don't really know. Like I was waiting for a reason to get more organized, I guess. And having my first daughter, now I have a second. I love being organized. I thought I was organized before, but the level of organization I have now is more mental organization to where I can actually be present for my kids and my family. So my systems have definitely saved my sanity. So are you ready for a look at all my templates, tools, and automations? So you've already seen like a lot of peeks into all of that. So I am introducing to you that I am doing a systems coaching course. So this is really exciting because I am diving into what I have done to buy back my time and have more mental freedom and be more present mentally when I'm doing all the things that I love, because I am not in a sprint right now. I have a marathon with this career and I love what I do and I don't want to hit burnout. And I also don't want to look back and feel like I missed out on precious memories with my daughters, with my husband, because I was just too chaotic in my business. So if you're ready to start running your business like a CEO, this course is for you. If your workflow needs to work for you and not against you, this course is for you. If you're serving younger, tech-savvy buyers and sellers who really want that seamless experience, especially sellers in this market, when they see homes sitting on the market for a long time, what is your listing system? What does it look like? How are you attracting them and showing them that, hey, listen, exposure is how your property is going to get sold. How we're going to get showings is from exposure. And then that's how it's going to get sold. So I'm going to get you the most exposure because look at this. And not just having a simple listing presentation that makes a lot of promises that maybe you don't even have in your system book, but actually having a playbook for how you're going to get your seller's property sold when days on market are adding up and adding up. At least they know that you're doing everything because you have a system. And this course is for you if you're overwhelmed and you're doing it all yourself. This isn't just for you either. Your assistant can come on and learn things with you. It's all recorded. It is a group coaching structure. And then if you are looking for structure, growth, and freedom without burnout, this course is for you. So this isn't just a course. It's hands-on coaching experience. And I'm opening up just 10 spots right now for agents who are ready to treat their business like an actual business. Step into your CEO queen mama era and gain back your time. The reason I'm doing it right now is because I do feel like summer is the perfect time, because right now, if we can get your systems working for you, come the holidays, you're going to have so much more mental headspace to do the things that you need to do and enjoy time with your family. I feel like if you're running your business very chaotically and doing everything manually, then you're not going to have the right headspace to be doing the prospecting that you need to do. You're not going to have the headspace to grow your business And much less, like, you definitely won't be able to scale as easily because you're still doing all these tasks that could be automated, could be systemized, could be templates, could be organization, could your admin be doing it? Could you hire a virtual assistant? Somebody that you can pay to help take tasks off your plate and buy back your time. So I feel like summer is absolutely the perfect time to get you set up for the fall, the holidays. And we're not just simplifying it for the sake of it. We're setting you up to scale also without the burnout, because burnout does happen. And I see it happen so much in this industry. I've seen, as you know, I'm in Hawaii. I've seen agents just like check out, move back to the mainland, and like never do real estate again because they hit it hard. They were a top producer and they just burn out. And then I've also seen some very high-end top producers who don't end up getting to enjoy their family, the fruits of their labor, because they are working very, very hard and they are a top producer. But where's the balance in, enjoying the fruits of your labor? So this is one of my clients, Jen. So Jen has been an agent for over 8.5 years, 9 or so now. And for her, she just had her 4th kid and she has been on a team and, using team systems and having really good support. But there was a lot of things that she was doing manually. And recently I got to help her scale and move on her business where, I even helped her in the process of hiring an assistant and really working through things, what she should be doing and what she shouldn't be doing. And it's so, for me, the reward was, hey, Tina, I'm getting so much more present time with my family. Her youngest is just a couple months older than my youngest, so about 10 months now. And she's also very actively involved in the church. She likes to go to her kids' sports, but she has all this time to really enjoy her life more and scale. Like she's telling me, like, after being in the industry this long, like she's like, I'm ready to scale and do bigger things. Like her brain has the capacity to dream and take her to like the next level of like being a CEO, like from being on a team to thinking outside the box and how far can she really go. And I just love that. Like, to me, that's the biggest reward for really wanting to do this, is stepping in and helping people buy back their time, helping mamas buy back that precious time with your kids at whatever age they are, so you can enjoy while still having a successful business. So if you think you're not ready for systems, let's talk about it. So you may say, I've always done it this way. Like, I don't need to do anything else. Like, my business is fine. Business isn't that busy, whatever it may be. That was then. If you're ready to grow, you need better tools and a fresh strategy. If you're not techie, that's okay. It's not about knowing anything about tech. I'm going to walk you through everything and I'm going to help you get everything set up so that way it's one and done. And then over time, you can just work on the brain. You're having the brain mental energy to grow your business. It's okay. You do not have to be techie. I'm not there yet. Well, systems will help you get there. If you feel like, there's so many different areas of that you could be as a mama in this industry right now. Maybe you're a brand new realtor. Maybe you've been a realtor for a few years and business is slow. Whatever it is, this is going to help you expedite your career to a faster level, because you need and you deserve the mental space to think about your business as a CEO, and you deserve the mental clarity to be present when you're with your family and actually spending precious quality time with them mentally. If you've tried and failed, that's okay. This time you're not doing it alone. You have support from me. We're going to have a group of others. You can openly ask questions. We can walk through everything together. It's not just watching a video and going and implementing it. It is group coaching. So you will have videos to watch and homework, but we are going to be doing weekly calls every Thursday. So that way we can jump on and discuss anything, as well as I'll continue to be coaching you on that call. Now you're probably wondering, what's the return on investment? Well, obviously more time, more clarity, and a much better client experience, because when you're operating from a place of mental clarity, peace, happiness, your clients are going to feel that. And then most importantly, I've said it a lot, is like getting the headspace to think bigger, think outside the box, think about where do you really see your business a year from now, 5 years from now? What does success look like to you a year from now? And what does success look like to you 5 years from now? Do you want to grow your family? Do you want to be more present? Do you want to put your phone away at soccer practice? Do you want to put your phone away to eat lunch with your kids every day? You know, if you have younger kids or whatever it may be, do you want to work less? Maybe you can scale back and not have to work 6 or 7 days a week, because I know in real estate we're working weekends. And so trying to think of how you can find the time to balance it all, but really have that peace of mind to know that your business is not suffering, you're growing, but you're still there for those important moments. So if you think this course is for you, I would love to just chit chat with you. So to chit chat with you, you got to come and send me a DM and let's just talk about it, because I want to see where you are in your business. And this was a whole presentation about a lot about systems, and you may be familiar with some of the systems and you may be so foreign when you hear some of these words like mini chat or even flow desk. Like all of this could just sound like foreign language to you, and that's okay. Even if it's foreign language to you, that does not mean that this course is going to be hard, because again, it's not just a course, it's coaching. And that's why I'm only taking on 10 more students to join this cohort to make sure that you have the right support that you need throughout this time. And then we can talk about if this is the right time for you right now. I'm not going anywhere. I'm a coach, and I'm here to help mamas in real estate at whatever it may be. I am, though, offering a discount. So today is Wednesday. If you register by Saturday at midnight, then you'll get a 20% off Moms in Real Estate discount. So make sure you send me a DM. I'm going to be hanging out in my DMs after this to talk to you more. I am also still open for questions, but I'm just saying, like, send me a DM. Like, first of all, I just want to really get to know you all. It was interesting for me not to be able to see all y'all's faces here, but I do want to get to know you all and see where you are in your business and see how I can help you expedite your career faster and get you where you want to be. I'm such a firm believer of having coaches and mentors, because if you look at somebody and you want to be where they are, you know, taking multiple days off, taking vacations, having, you know, a team of admin or whatever it may be, to get there, it's fastest to get there by somebody that has already been there. So my coaches and how I pick them out is I want to be like them in some way or another. And so I try to think, what can I learn from them? How can they help me get there faster? What pitfalls can I avoid by hearing directly from them what they tried and failed with and what they tried and what works? All right, Miss Randy, I'm ready for questions.
Well, first off, thank you so much. I mean, you and I are like twins. We run our business, and I think one of the most powerful things that you shared is really that systems aren't just like the actual software. It's a state of mind, right? It's the things that we put in place that actually give us the capacity to take all of the things in without like robbing us from our family. And I think that was really powerful. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, thank you.
No? Okay, just want to make sure. But we had tons of comments, and we do have a good handful of questions. So one of those questions was, sometimes I tend to get impatient as an agent. How do you remain patient, especially when the potential client doesn't convert?
Well, you're not going anywhere as a realtor. So you have to not look at your clients as a paycheck. You have to look at them as a relationship. Like, pretend that client is a family member and think of it from that perspective. Like, you want that family member, like, think about the care and love that you have for that family member and how you're able to walk them through it. As a mama, like, it's like if your kid is wanting to go out and like buy a car or something like that, you want to make sure that they're going through the steps and they're ready before they do something. Buying a house is a huge investment. And especially with today's interest rates, I think that it can be intimidating. And so just meeting your client where they are, like talking to them, hey, what do you feel like is holding you back from pulling the trigger right now? If they say it's rates, you maybe have objections about that. If they say it's because, just having those objections ready, and you can even role play and practice for objections. But I don't believe in ever rushing anybody's timeline, because I'm in this industry for the marathon. So if they say they're ready to buy a year from now, cool, I'll still be a realtor. I'll be here.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And I also think it's really powerful when we can help people to know that, like, we're here to serve you even if you don't end up buying, right? That's one of the most powerful things that you can do, like letting them know that you're there to be somebody that supports them on their journey, and there is no expectation that they have to transact. And I actually think that's like a huge disruptor when you're like, hey, I may be the first person to tell you not to buy, or you should rent. And I think that instantly also gives them a little bit of trust. So yes, long-term game, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, I think it lagged a little bit, but no, I can hear you.
It's so funny. I watched your whole presentation with zero issues, but now that we're answering questions, I have a couple, like a lag. Okay, so another question that came in was, what's the first system you would recommend to put in place for someone who is still doing everything manually?
So that's why I want to talk to y'all more individually. So whoever asked this question, I would love to just jump on a call with you for 10, 15 minutes and just hear what you're doing manually and give you more personalized one-on-one pointers. So when you say you're doing everything manually, does that mean when your buyer gets an accepted contract, are you emailing them the accepted contract and typing a whole email saying hey, congrats, here's your closing day, here's your lender, all of that? Because if you're doing that, then you're doing it every time you get a buyer. So for me, once a buyer has an accepted contract, I have a template. So templates are probably the very first thing that you need to dive into, is having a template for when somebody gets an accepted contract, introducing them to, if it's escrow or attorney state, introducing them to anybody that needs to be involved. And then also you're walking your clients through a process. So you want to make sure that maybe you're re-giving them your home buyer's guide. Hey, just a reminder, here's the home buyer's guide, but also just a reminder, your earnest money deposit is due in these couple of days, and you're giving them timeline, structure, and strategy, and they're going to see your professionalism through these emails. So write the email, take the time writing the email, pointing out everything that you feel like somebody needs to know right as soon as they get an accepted contract. Even if you tell them this over a phone call, it's always good to recap it in an email. So having email templates is, if you're doing everything manually, email templates would be what I would say. And again, message me. And if you already have some email templates, or if your TC does those, and my TC does email templates as well. I gave her some, but I also like to, congratulate my clients in an email and recap our calls. And so I'm just recapping what my calls usually are with my clients in that template.
Yeah, and you can customize. I think one of the misconceptions is that when you have a template, it's like cookie cutter, and I think that's the big mistake. Don't send it out like that, right? Just have your base information, but then take a minute to actually inject the person, your personal message to them based off of their experience, and that's I'm pretty sure what you do. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, we have time for one more. And I feel this one in my core. I've definitely been here before, and this is why I don't implement things except for the fourth quarter, but I'm excited to hear your response. So what do you do when a system isn't working, but you've already committed to it?
So I'm wondering if that's a software. And if it's a software, then that's a little bit different. So I have tried different softwares. I use Monday.com, and that was really helpful. But the thing about Monday.com is it wasn't connecting with the timelines as much as I can get Asana to connect with it. And so I switch when it's time to switch. Now, if you have a financial investment in something, then that's different for a software. It would be helpful to really understand what system, or have an idea of what you're talking about when you say when a system's not working. Or if you feel okay, let's say if you also mean your system isn't working for your follow-up with buyers, and maybe your return isn't maybe your follow-up system isn't getting you enough conversion with your buyers. If that's what you mean, then maybe you need more of like the manual touches. So when I say the systems, like, yes, there are workflows in Flowdesk for emails, but that doesn't mean you don't text your clients and you check in with them or call them. Texting and calling is still very important, but you need to have a system and structure. So when it comes to like, okay, on Mondays, you're following up, you're looking at your CRM. Who are my buyers that are ready now? Who are my buyers that are ready in 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 9 months? Okay. When are you following up with each category? On Mondays, you follow up with the ones that are ready now. Tuesday, you follow up with the ones that are ready in 3 to 6 months. Wednesday, it's the ones that are ready in 6 to 9 months. So that is what I would call a system. So if you're having trouble converting through the systems you have, it's maybe because you have too much automation and not enough heart in it. You got to give people your time of day still too, but that's also why you need systems in the back end. So that way you have time to take on these conversations and you're not over here talking to your client for like an hour and you're like, oh my gosh, like I was supposed to send this email and I was supposed to do that and I was supposed to do this. And now I just got an hour lost out of my day. But like, that's what you should be doing as real estate, is talking to your clients, hand-holding them through the experience, giving them that 5-star service to where that one client turns into sending you 5 referrals. And that's, my business is really referral based. And so I spend a lot of time talking and nurturing everyone. I did want to do the raffle too, by the way, Randy.
Yes, let's do the raffle. And real quick, I'll just, kind of summarize on this note. What Tina's really doing is she's challenged us to think beyond like systems as software. She's talking about like fundamental principles in your business, for your follow-up, for your communication. And I think that as agents in a very noisy industry, where there's always like a new software drop or there's like a new something that somebody's doing, we can confuse our systems with like all the things that we need to buy. And then all of a sudden we have this huge overhead. And what Tina's really going to walk you through, if you take one of these spots for her in coaching, is making sure that you have the fundamentals in your business that drive your relationships and your referrals, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I have it up. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay.
Yes, you should be able to, no problem.
Okay. All right, here we go for the Amazon gift card. All right.
I don't know how to say that. I don't know your name.
I don't know your name, but I will be reaching out to you for your Amazon gift card for sure. So exciting. I mean, thank you everybody for showing up today. Oh, okay, there is somebody there. Hopefully they're
yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we had tons of comments and tons of engagement. Thank you so much, Tina. And if you did, we'll drop the link and we'll also send out an email recap so you have all of Tina's contact information. Remember that the special is good through Saturday, 20% off for her program. But also you can also jump over to Hey Meyer, which is heymire.com, and all Tina's contact information is there as well. So everybody is just so excited. Lots of comments popping in. Oh yes, Tina, what did you want to say?
I did want to say, so I started something new like a month ago to where on Epic Hawaii Homes, because it is like a lot of client focus and I have a lot of clients on there, I have real estate agents be my close friends. So I hope you all sent me a DM so that way I can add you to my close friends, where I am showcasing more behind the scenes of what I'm doing as far as my systems go, as far as like, just new ideas and things that I'm trying, because I am really excited to just like share with you and hopefully help you buy back your time with your family. All you mamas, like, hopefully it's going to help you. Just like that success to me is like how you can bless others. And so blessing our clients is with 5-star experience, but also blessing your family with having like a present mind is what I'm really hoping for. So send me a DM. I'll be hanging out in my DMs for the next couple hours. Like I really did plan to make sure that I have time to connect with all of you right now. So just make sure we're chit-chatting in the DMs.
Well, we love that. Thank you so much, Tina. And thank you for being a partner of ours. And moms, get in touch with Tina. All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.